a shit ton of capital, which we have, into the pockets of younger people. Otherwise, they're not going to have kids. Otherwise, they're going to be very depressed because every fucking day they see thousands of images of all the shit they don't have and all the success they're not reaping. Because there will be someone who will be a millionaire among your friend group. And he or she will take to Instagram and then vomit up their inventory of all the shit they have, such that you feel worse about yourself. So we have the worst of all worlds. We have total income inequality, and then we have social media platforms that rub it in your face. I think this is the biggest issue. The one piece of data that we have to fix in our society is that for the first time, a 30-year-old isn't doing as well as his or her parents were at 30, doing at 30. That's never happened in our country's history. You look like you're 20s headed to 30. You're not going to be doing well as your parents at 30. That's never happened. That's never happened. And it creates rage and it creates shame. It's been especially hard on young men because young women are killing it. Young women are going to college. They mature earlier. They have stronger social networks. More single women in America have homes now than single men. And men are kind of, you have never seen a group in America fall further faster than young men. And if our kids aren't doing well, if young Americans aren't doing well, then what is the point of any of this shit, right? So the bad news is we have, I think, the biggest problem in the West. If our young people aren't doing as well as their parents, then what's the point of any of this? That's the entire point of an economy, is that young people do well. The good news is we've got the hard part figured out. And that is where you think about prosperity, housing, homelessness, depression, anxiety. These issues have been addressed in one or more of any number of markets. There aren't very many homeless people in New Zealand. The number of young people depressed is really low in Israel because they have national service and they have programs to take care of this. We can figure that shit out. The hard part is figuring out a way to bring together the alchemy of innovation and intellectual property capital that creates the GDP of Denmark in an earnings call 5 minutes after the earnings call. NVIDIA added $240 billion in 5 minutes post its earnings call. That's hard. So we've got the hard stuff figured out. We can figure out how to make the pie much bigger. We're just really shitty at slicing it up and figuring out where it needs to go. So I'm hopeful, but I am really sick of incumbents my age electing people who throw up their arms and pretend these problems are not fixable. And if only young men took more accountability, and young people, oh, I have a niece at Google. She's doing really well. Get a job at Goldman Sachs. Okay. Thanks, Nana. Thanks, Pop. It's just, anyway, there's a word salad. This is something I'm very passionate about. But I think the intergenerational theft and absolute cramming of the prosperity into the hands of seniors, people under the age of 40 on average are 24% less wealthy than they were 40 years ago. People over the age of 75 are 72% wealthier. So that's like an economy that's not working. That's an economy that's been weaponized by rich people. So I think we can address this issue, but it is the fundamental glitch in the system. It is the flaw. It is the immoral, corrupt part of our society right now, is that we come up with excuses to continue to transfer wealth from the young to the old.